Mhm. Okay. Can anyone hear me? You can. All right. But you guys are all muted. We can all unmute ourselves to start off. Because I need sound. Where is everyone?
I can hear you.
Yay. Okay. I can hear you. Hi. Hi, Rebecca.
Hello? Is this working?
Robin. Hi, Kaylee. Hi, Malyamir. Yeah. Okay. It's working. It's working just fine. I feel like I'm like a yellow bubble right now. Weird yellow aura around. Sorry that I'm a couple minutes late. I was on a different Zoom link and I was like, that's weird. I'm the only one here. So I'll just wait a couple minutes. How's everybody's week going?
I think probably everyone's really happy that you're not physically around me because I literally just walked in the door from a spin class. So I'm like sweaty and hot and it's amazing. But
Where are you spinning?
Spinco at Summerhill.
I've never been there before. I've heard a lot about it.
Yeah, I mean, it works for me. Like for me, distance, like close vicinity is the most important thing. Like that's why my gym is 2 minutes away and Summerhill, it's like a 2-minute subway ride away. So the class finished at 7:23 and I was in the door at 7:29. So
that's so convenient. That is so key for a gym. And Rebecca, you look like you're outside right now.
Yep, outside is really nice here. It's like probably 70 something, 73 maybe, which I don't know how that actually translates to Celsius.
Like 20?
15? Yeah, maybe 20.
Hold on, I Google.
Show us your view.
Oh, my view?
Right? Yeah. I feel like you have something majestic somewhat to look at.
Maybe. Let me see.
21 Celsius.
Oh, that's nice.
Wait, it went out of focus. Yes. Oh, yeah. Okay. That is something to look at.
That's a really nice view.
Yeah. It's not too shabby.
Yeah. So jealous.
Yeah, it's been so nice. I got like this patio set and I've just been working outside almost every single day.
Amazing.
And it just feels so good to be outside. And just like breathing fresh air.
Mm-hmm. Well, I need to come visit.
Yes.
Plan a trip and meet in the physical realm. Hey, Kaylee, how are you?
I'm good. I'm sorry. I'm stuffing my face.
Eating dinner. I know. 7:30 is maybe like the dinner hour. So this is how we multitask.
Yes.
I'll be seeing Rob on Thursday to reread our podcast.
Yes. So exciting.
I felt so bad.
We got panels in here that really help the echo now, so it's a lot better.
Amazing. Yeah, so for context, I recorded a podcast with Kaylee's partner who's opening a gym, and there was just so much background noise that we recorded just outside of the actual space. And as I listened back, I was like, okay, I can't edit this out. So I have one of those hard emails of like, can I have another hour of your time to re-record this? Which never feels good, but he was kind enough to say yes. So
he's happy about it, and we just had our open house and stuff, so it'll give some more, like, I don't know, context to what's going on here and stuff. So it's a good thing.
Okay, well, that's good. So we can get started. I know that Malyamir and Kaylee were both at the retreat. So did you both have a chance to meet? Maybe you know each other, recognize?
You were sitting kind of close behind me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I remember.
Awesome. And then we've got Robin up in my top left corner. Robin lives in Ottawa, Ontario, so not too far from us Toronto folk. Robin, do you want to give a quick little who you are and something that you're super excited about right now?
Yeah, so my name is Robin Baldwin. I do a whole lot of things, but the fastest way to explain it is I'm a blogger, a podcaster, a marketing manager by day. And I just launched the Autoimmune Thriving Retreat, which was on Sunday. And today on the blog, I'm announcing that I'm gifting someone a scholarship from the proceeds of the retreat. So that just went up on my social media. So I'm excited to read applications.
So exciting. Love that. And a little common thread over to Rebecca on my top right. Rebecca also started a podcast recently. So Robin, you've got something in common with Rebecca. Rebecca, do you want to tell us your name, where you currently reside, and something you're excited about right now?
Yeah. So yes, I'm Rebecca. I am from Reno, Nevada. So it's like the Lake Tahoe area, if anybody's kind of familiar with, the west coast of the U.S. It's really beautiful here. And I just moved in December, and it's been just really awesome getting to know like this new community. And so something that I'm excited about, I think is probably my podcast. I launched it on Tuesday, and it's really intense because it's kind of like, once it's up and you got to just roll with it. But I'm really excited, and I think it's going to be really good. I've got a lot of people who are interested in, becoming, being guests. And I think it's an area. So like basically it's conversations with like everyday people about how they overcome obstacles in holistic ways. And then there's like some other things kind of thrown in, but that's kind of the main gist. And I like it because, sometimes like some of the most powerful stories can just be from like sitting down with your girlfriends and hearing what they're going through and being able to be like, oh, I relate to that. And that's something that it's really easy for me to implement in my life. So that was kind of my vision with this, mixed with like health and wellness and all that stuff. But
what is it called?
The Strive for More podcast. Okay. Thanks.
We're all gonna go download it.
Well, I'm on your Instagram and I can't find it.
Oh wow!
We're gonna have to change that.
It is not in your bio.
I know. I just made all of my graphics today, and I'm gonna do a link tree tomorrow. That's on my to-do list.
Well, we're gonna hold you accountable to this. So.
Awesome. Please do. Oh, and
that's what this is all about.
I'm gonna find you, Robin, too, and find you.
I just followed you, so it's top of your notifications.
That's funny.
Yay! Oh, I love this. I love connecting.
I think on the last Mastermind too, in the chat box, everyone was giving their Instagram handle, and all of a sudden I saw everyone commenting on one another's like the following week. I was like, this is really cool. Kaylee, do you want to introduce yourself and tell us one thing you're excited about right now?
Sure. So my name's Kaylee. I live in Prince Edward County. I work at a school in Belleville, but like Kelsey said, my partner we just opened a gym in an old armory building in Picton. So we had our open house recently, and our classes start on Friday. So we're excited. It's crazy, but fun.
So exciting.
Yeah.
We got a new joiner. Hi, Kayleen. She's like, what?
She's chewing.
Don't you love joining the Mastermind late? Eat away, drink away, or all just...
Oh my goodness. Can you hear me? Yeah. Could you hear me the whole time?
No.
I'm sorry. I was teaching yoga and then I was late and then
You're good. We've got like the weirdest, I feel like, is everyone a yogi here, basically, except for me?
I just came from a yoga class, so.
Why don't y'all just everyone have a yoga mastermind without me then next time? So Kayleen, you were just missing some introductions. So Robin introduced herself, Rebecca introduced herself, Kaylee introduced herself. Now we're going to pass it over to Malyamir to introduce herself and tell us one thing you're excited about and any other fun facts about you.
Wow, that's a lot of things. Malyamir, I'm in Toronto, Ontario. By day, I am basically a project and people manager for the Ontario government, and I'm very passionate about that work. When I'm not at my day job, I am doing personal alchemy work. So how do we align our core elements to live the lives we want to? So I do like Reiki and tarot and NLP, and I combine them in weird ways that I really love. and I write blogs, and I apparently am into spin now. I've been doing that for 2 months now. I had like my 17th class today, and I like can almost mostly keep up with most songs. So it's awesome.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah, it's super exciting. I'm loving it. Yeah, and generally life is good. And something I'm excited about is going for a walk with Kelsey on Friday to play the second time in the
Instagram friends turned real life friends.
Yes.
Anyone else have people like that in their life? Kind of crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, over to Kayleen. You want to give us a quick little intro on who you are and something that you're excited about right now?
I'm Kayleen. I'm late. I live in Bracebridge, Ontario, where the water is high. We have a lot of flooding going on. I work for the town of Bracebridge in economic development, but currently working in communications for flooding. I'm currently a Visionary Method student, and I am in the process of hopefully launching, no, not hopefully, I am launching a business surrounding like nutrition and meal planning and fitness, health, wellness, all of the things, goal setting. I'm also a yoga teacher. What else was I supposed to say?
That's it. That's good.
And I'm excited about launching my business, doing a website, and I'm running the Sporting Life 10K this weekend, so that's fun too.
Holy, yes.
That's my
we
story.
literally all have our yoga teacher certifications?
I'm not a teacher.
Oh, okay. So I'm pointing at like the three. But
Yeah, I see a lot of common threads between you all, and some of you I've met in real life, some of you I haven't yet. So we're all kind of on an even playing field here. I curated this, but I am by no means like the one who knows you all personally. I just think this is such a fun way for us to just get together for 45 minutes once a month. It's the first Tuesday of every month, and just jam. And like the whole point of it is to just share things that are going on in our life. I have like a quick little topic that I'll go through that hopefully sparks conversation. Not that I feel like I need to pry conversation out of any of you. So maybe in the future, we just keep it to a very casual jam session. And I just love the things like kind of Kayleen was like, hopefully I'm launching a business. And I think like we were all like, no, like you're doing it, right? And that's what a mastermind is. It's encouraging each other, because as we know, like it can be, whether you're launching a business or not, it can be a lonely path, it can be a confusing path, it can be scary, fear comes through. Rebecca, I know you were going through it yesterday as you posted in the Facebook group, and God, like I feel, and I talk about this all the time, we talked about it last month, that deep sense of loneliness sometimes, feeling like, am I the only one that feels this way? Or like, why do I use the words like, hopefully one day I'll do this? But when you get a group of us together, I think we can all help encourage each other, push each other to rise above the shit that holds us back. I mean, the other day I found myself around a girl that I find very inspiring, and I was saying, you know, if I could afford to go to this destination wedding, she's like, if, and like, why are you talking it? She's like, you want to go, you'll go. And like, she just shifted my language. And I just kept thinking, God, the people you surround yourself with can truly raise you or just play on your level when you're feeling small. And so I'm really grateful for whoever shows up here on a monthly basis, just to kind of kick each other in the pants and just try to live as the best versions of ourselves. And so that's the point. I'm going to share my screen, and please keep your sound on if you feel like you want to pipe in at any time. I think most people are eating dinner, so if you feel like your mouth is just too full to contribute, that's all good. I just like shoved down some snacks so I could not have a grumbling tummy over the next 45 minutes. But yeah, again, please participate, and if anything piques your interest, then I would invite more conversation. So we've all introduced ourselves, so I'm going to skip by this slide. So the vision and open for expansion of who's going to be showing up to these monthly meetings. Maybe you come once a year, maybe you come reoccurring on a monthly basis. I feel like with the summer weather, we may see drop-offs, but I'm going to be here on the first Tuesday of every month, and I would love to have you all return month after month too. But these are some common threads that I pulled from our last crew who showed up in April. So people who value a growth mindset, who are seeking a little bit more out of this lifetime, who know that ordinary is probably not the way that they want to carry through their life. We're forever students, so we can all learn from each other. That's a big thing I want to foster between this group. And again, I can see that as you all connect online outside of this mastermind. We know that our life experience equip us to show up as teachers. So if you have something, a nugget of wisdom that you want to share with this group, step into your teacher role. We want to hear from you. We all have lots of ideas, so this is a place to feel safe about sharing them. We're looking for upgrades to our health, our life, our career path. I think the health thing, everyone's clearly valuing their health and wellness and movement, so that's amazing. And a big value placed on community, connection, and collaboration. So that's a little bit of the intention behind this. And kind of the why that I really feel strongly about putting this together and creating this space is really centered around this quote that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together, right? We know that we could snap our fingers and probably reach some of our goals tomorrow, but sometimes building that tribe around you to support you so that you can build longevity into what you're doing and gain the support you need before diving head first. Again, that's what this is for. That's why we can get together on a monthly basis and share with one another what's going on in our life. So the recordings will be posted in the Facebook group after if anyone misses it and wants to just rewatch it if you miss a month. If you have topic ideas, feel free to suggest them. I'll be happy to kind of curate that. If anyone wants to lead one in the future, you are more than welcome. And we'll try to hold each other accountable with some homework at the end as well. And then I just wanted to say thank you to those of you who came to the retreat. I wanted to just celebrate what happened on this day and the people who came and gave it their all for 5 hours as we connected and shared in this beautiful space. And I just couldn't resist throwing a few photos in because it's something that I cannot wait to recreate down the line.
It seriously could have been a full day, Kelsey. Like 5 hours felt rushed. It was awesome. And I'm sorry, I'm like jumping in here, but
no, please do.
The way that you curated the conversations with people, not only the beginning, but over lunch was actually genius. Like we were even saying, cause when you get there, it's always kind of awkward. At least, I've been told I come across as really extroverted, but really I'm that awkward person, like sitting off in a corner by myself. So I thought that was really good. But then the lunch, it was so smart the way you set it up because it actually gave one person time to talk. And then that rule you had about you had to only listen, it actually gave other people time to eat. Because, sometimes at these things, nobody ends up having time to eat because you're like, every time you're about to put a spoonful of food in your mouth, you're having this conversation. So we not only got to really, really hear, and get to know somebody personally, but we also got to nourish our body. So, it seems simple, but that was really ingenious. I've never seen that done like that. So that's definitely a thing to repeat. It was awesome.
Very cool. I'm so happy to hear that. And I know Robin actually just hosted a retreat as well. So you'll have to give us a full lowdown on how that went at some point. But how did it go, by the way?
It was really good. So it was a 3-part. I taught a restorative yoga practice, and then I had a guest speaker share how Reiki can help in the healing process. So my target market is people that live with autoimmune disease. And then the venue that I hosted at is called Strathmere here in Ottawa. And I created a 3-course autoimmune paleo protocol based lunch for them. So it was supposed to just be 3 hours, an hour for each. We started at 11:30 and they didn't leave until 4:30. So lunch went really long and everybody connected. It was only 10 people at the table, so it was a perfect size. And everyone exchanged Facebook profiles and phone numbers, and everyone asked me where I teach normally. And this was my response, because this was my first time teaching since my certification. I was like, this was my first yoga class.
They're like, thank God you told us after.
Yeah, I was like, I was waiting to tell you until after. But they all asked when the next one would be. So yeah, it was a great.
Yes.
I sold out, so it was awesome.
And that deserves some celebrations. I hope you celebrated yourself after too, because that's amazing. It's funny, like it really gets me thinking in terms of the retreat I hosted with the Visionary Life brand and how you did this, Robin, like these small micro communities. It's like a couple years ago, I think, and still like we're all dreaming big, like how can we tap into this global audience and make friends with everybody on Instagram and sell to the world? But there's so much magic in putting together just a tiny, tiny community of people in the physical realm, if possible, and not aspiring to have everything be perfect, but just to realize that we're all human. Like, let's just get together and be adult friends and learn from each other and grow and fill the room with some things that we like, right? And so I think maybe there'll be more of this in the future. And if any of you have been thinking about curating a mini retreat just to make new friends or to promote your business or to share your love of a hobby or a skill, like that is so badass to be able to just pull that little bit of confidence out to say, I'm just going to put this out there and see who wants to join. So maybe that gets some wheels turning for how you can implement that kind of in your own life. So a quote that inspired me of this month's topic, and I heard it on a podcast, surprise, surprise, was, you will be the same person in 5 years as you are today, except for the people you meet and the books you read. And I'm still honestly trying to process this quote. So take a second to think about it and draw a definition from it. So I'm just going to keep it silent for the next 20 seconds as you reread this. So does anyone, again, I'm still trying to wrap my head around exactly how I feel about this and what conclusions I've drawn from it. I know that as soon as I heard it, I was like, what? Huh? How does that apply? That's really interesting. Does anyone have any initial thoughts or feelings around whether you like this quote and resonate with it, or if you're like, that's bullshit, there's so much more to who I'll be in 5 years?
So I see two things right away. The first one is it's telling me I'm not going to evolve, but it's also telling me I am going to evolve based on people and books. So it's contradicting itself.
I kind of feel that too. Yeah. Does anyone else have random thoughts on it, positive or negative?
I don't, because when you first, I think it was an email where I first saw it, I was like, no, is Charlie just trying to get people's attention with it? Because what it immediately reminded me of is advice that I've given people that, okay, you want to say 5 years? 5 years is going to pass regardless of what you do with it, but then you have the choice of what you do with it. But so I was kind of struggling to, is he just trying to get at the idea that at your core, you're the same person and that you're going to, I don't know, I don't really know what he's getting. Yes, you can add value to yourself or you can grow based on other people's books you read, but maybe in my heart of hearts, I'm the same person I was 5 years ago, but I'm also not at all the same person I was 5 years ago. So I don't know. That's my big answer. I don't know.
No, I think that's super interesting to hear too. And so when I first heard it, I immediately thought, okay, so if I don't surround myself or continue to evolve the people that I'm spending time with and fill my mind with like new perspectives, new growth, then maybe that means I will stay the same as I am today. And if I don't want that, I should shift and continually look to upgrade the people in the books. But yeah, then I thought, oh, well, maybe I will stay the same at my core, but I will continue to like feed my mind and like my soul with connections. But I'm always going to be me. I'm just looking to continually like upgrade the hardware inside of me. So yeah, I definitely took it a couple ways, but what made me want to talk about it was that I am very passionate about being able to shift your mindset based on the people who you're allowing into your consciousness and based on all of the learnings and teachings that you take in on a daily basis. Because I'm sure you can all think of situations where you're around the wrong people who make you feel like you are never going to find joy in life. You are never going to get ahead with your finances. That life is about gossiping and complaining. And so the people that you meet certainly can change the trajectory of your life. And I also feel very strongly, just for myself, that the books that I read, which includes the audiobooks and the podcasts that I listen to and the courses that I invest in, like without those, be like a flattened piece of paper who could not, who like I couldn't forge forward every day because my natural instinct is to wake up and feel like, fuck, I can't do this and just not have that motivation. So I need that constant teaching in order to be able to persevere, basically. So the two words that really popped out for me were connect and learn. And I think those are two foundational principles that I have to apply on a daily basis so that I can operate at any normal capacity, let alone like function highly. So I want to ask a few questions and then we're going to get into like a little bit of a sharing discussion around this. So a few things just to challenge yourself on in terms of the connect. So the people that you're meeting, how are you meeting new people right now? And for some of you, I'm sure you could give a list of 5, 10, 20 different ways. Some people, maybe it feels like, well, actually, I haven't met anyone new in a while. So you can kind of reflect on that. Who would you like to spend more time with? And who would you like to spend less time with? So again,
are we answering?
Just think about it. These were just to get the wheels spinning, and then I'll bring up a discussion slide. And again, for some of you, this might be kind of like new thoughts to think about. Some of you, you've maybe been thinking about these topics for a while. But of course, the people who we choose to let into our bubbles over the next 5 years can massively impact. I know for me, my trajectory in being able to build an online course shifted because someone at my co-working table a couple of years ago, I decided to strike up a conversation with him and he opened the portal to me. And it reminded me that everybody has a story and that sometimes I need to be the one to initiate those conversations and to get outside of my introverted ways to create conversation and foster just different types of communication with different types of people so that I can expand my knowledge and just continue building a network. In terms of learning, some self kind of reflection things that I've been thinking about. What is the one book that you keep hearing about? Like maybe a lot of people have recommended it or you've seen it on a bunch of people's bookshelves. or yeah, people keep talking about it and you know that maybe it is a book you need to be picking up. Thinking about whether or not you feel inspired by what you're learning right now. Some people study courses and they're not even certain that it's their path. And what topic do you want to seek guidance or training on? Okay, so in terms of chatting kind of about the monthly favorites, I really wanted it to reflect on this quote, you are the same person as you'll be in 5 years, except for the people and the books that you read. So whoever kind of feels comfortable sharing on this topic, take a second to think about, is there one person who has positively impacted your life or your business lately? And then after that, we'll chat about one book or resource you'd like to recommend to everyone for growth. Okay, and it can be in any topic. So just maybe jot the answers down. No pressure if you don't want to answer both or if you want to answer none. But I think my favorite way to learn about inspiring people, inspiring books, just how other people connected with their mentors, connected with their coaches, that's what fires me up, right? Like I want to know from you guys what's impacting your lives right now. And I'm sure we all have a natural curiosity for what each other are up to. So that being said, would anyone want to start by jamming out on the answers to one or both of these? Take another second to think.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I always talk first in groups, and I was trying not to, so you go.
Yeah, I know, same.
Nobody likes that uncomfortable silence. All right, Malamir, go for it.
Well, I have a really hard time thinking of one book or resource, but I guess a couple of books, and they might seem like a little bit weird if we're thinking about growth, but they actually were really positive for me. And one in particular, it's called Whatever Arises, Love That by Matt Kahn. Has anyone read that? So I don't. So I mean, just for context, Matt Kahn, you know, he's in the spiritual community, and you know, while some of it may seem a little out there for some folks, the actual you know, takeaway message and homework that he gives is very powerful. And I think for those moments, especially as small business owners, where we have those moments of self-doubt, right? Or anytime negative thoughts come up, or, you know, any kind of self-dismissal or disbelief or anything like that, you know, the key homework is that you're giving love to whatever arises in you. So let's just say, you know, I have a moment of self-doubt, and that is arising in me. Then what I need to do is direct love to that part of myself and actually say, as if that part of me is like, I pretend that it's like, it's just another me. And I say to that me, I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you for telling me that. Like it's like you're acknowledging that part of yourself. And, you know, I mean, I know that he comes at it from a spiritual perspective, but it's also just really good psychology. And if you've ever read anything on, you know, the shadow, or, you know, with Carl Jung and working with the shadow, I'm not sure if any of this is familiar to anyone, but it's kind of that aspect of us that we tend to try to shy away from. We're like, oh, that's negative, I don't want to deal with that. But it's actually really important that we not dismiss that part of ourselves, because, you know, like in NLP, it like all these things connect, right? Whether it's spiritual or psychological or neurological, it's the part of your brain that is trying to protect you. And that's often where those kind of defenses come up. And so the point of his book is that whatever comes up, give that part of you love. And it was very, very powerful for me. So that is definitely a book I'd recommend. It might, like for some people, it might seem a little bit out there, but you know, if you just read it for what it's worth and just give it a try, give his homework a bit of a try, and I think you might be surprised.
Wow, so much to think about on that. What's the book title again? Whatever Arises.
Love that.
Love that.
Matt
Okay.
Kahn. Kahn spelled Kahn.
Very cool. Thank you for sharing that. Robin, you were next on the dock.
Yeah. So for me, I would say the one person that I like consistently talk about pretty much on a daily basis to people is Jess Lively. And the latest work that she's done on her podcast and B School, so starting from like August 2018 on, her like one purpose has been teaching people how to talk to their inner voice, intuition, whatever language. I don't know if you guys have heard any of her podcast episodes. They're called client sessions. And she literally pretends to be the mind of the other person and asks them questions so that they can just listen for what they know to be true, what they know to be right, instead of seeking guidance from experts or other people. So it's been super cool to just kind of dive into that work. And I'm constantly like, anytime somebody comes to me for an answer, I'm like, listen to this podcast to figure out how to do this for yourself. So.
I do that to people all the time. I'm like, you could just go to this episode and everything's fine.
So yeah, that's been super cool because I'm realizing I'm doing that a lot for myself from a life perspective, and then realized I could do it from a business perspective in terms of asking myself, what do I actually want to do, or what do I want to create next?
That's so cool.
Yeah, and then one book or resource, I always recommend this to everyone, and now I'm diving into her other ones, is the Jen Sincero Badass book. Because it's just such a good one, and I just bought the new one, Badass Every Day, so that's on my bookshelf.
Nice. I haven't read, or I didn't know she had that Badass Every Day, but I did recently read the You Are a Badass at Making Money.
Yes, that's a great
really
one.
Good too. Yeah. So good. I'm going to just like compile a list of these and maybe post them all after our call. Anybody else feel like chiming in? Book, resource, person? I think like, yeah, we can get so inspired by what other people deem to be something impactful in their life.
I feel like my thing's super glitchy, or maybe it's just my computer. I don't know. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Are you able to hear us, or is it choppy?
Yeah. No, it's just my thing's freezing, like the cameras. But
okay. No, we gotcha.
Okay. One, you are having a positive impact on my life lately, Kelsey. Like our call.
I paid her to say that.
But I feel like book or resource, I'm really into Rachel Hollis, Girl Wash Your Face. I read it not too long ago, and I feel like from a business perspective, yes, but also just from a life perspective, like I just think she's so inspiring. Like she came from nothing and has built this like huge business, and yeah, I just find her super inspiring. I want to read Girl Stop Apologizing too, like both of her books.
Yeah. I've been like tuning into the podcast with her husband. They do a podcast together. It's so cool to like hear about their relationship evolution and
like how they balance it.
Right. And it always reminds me of the quote, like, you have the same amount of hours in the day as Beyonce. Beyonce has the same. And it's like them too. It's like, how do you raise 4 kids, run $5 billion businesses?
Yeah.
still run marathons. And like, it's just like challenging ourselves to realize that like, it's just about priorities. It's not about needing more time, and yeah, it's just choosing what you're going to squeeze into that time.
Yeah. Like I love them both. I think they're great.
Amazing. Added it to our list. Kaylee or Rebecca, anything you want to, and do not feel pressure to share. It's all good.
I think Rob and I, like I said, we just had our open house, and we had some friends stop by, and one of them had helped Rob with a bunch of his marketing materials. And I feel like we've been so into what we've created here. And my friend actually pointed out that we first discussed it last summer when we were at a brewery for lunch or whatever. And that was the first time the idea came out. And just to wrap your head around, like, wow, that was 8 months ago. And like, really put the timeline into perspective and stuff, that had a huge impact on Rob and I after she dropped that. And we were just like,
wow.
Crazy.
How much can happen in a year?
Yeah.
What would you say has been like the biggest like takeaway from launching this gym? Something you've learned or that's been surprising?
I think it was having the community show up over our open house weekend. And like, we had somebody here who was 86 years old, and we had a whole bunch of people relocating here from Toronto. And then we had a bunch of locals, and it was just like, it was like the best slap in the face ever of like what we're able to offer all these people. It's really neat.
So cool. Yeah, I'm very inspired by everything you guys are doing. And
thanks.
Can't wait to come. Yeah, please.
So I would say, I don't know like exactly how useful this is, but I just launched my like pilot version of my online course that I've been working on. I worked on it I was a Visionary Method student as well. And that's what I worked on with Kelsey. And we're into like week 2. And I've had just a few people that are just so pumped, and they're so positive. And it's literally been giving me life. Like, it's been keeping me going. And I would just say like those people that have been like encouraging and finding use and finding finding it beneficial has been just really, really positively impacting, me in my business, and then also just in my life. So that I'd say that. And then for a resource, well, obviously, the Slight Edge, so classic, but like, yeah, it's so good if you guys haven't read it. But just like, it's a lesson that I constantly need to be reminded of, which is like the consistency, and also patience with myself, and patience with even just those around me in the business, that like it takes one step at a time, and you got to just like live in the present step and experience it and be present with it before you can, I feel like, I mean, it's always good to be focusing on the future, but it's like, you got to be really in that step and be focusing on like one, almost like keeping your head down and just like plugging away and not getting too caught up in everything that's going on around you, whether it's the past or the future. That's been really helpful for me, because sometimes I get really caught up in like the future and like where am I going, and what's this all mean, and blah blah blah, and what if this doesn't work out, or what if what if, but it's like, if I can just like focus on what's going on and like what my next step is, that seems to be really, really helpful. And that's kind of like what the underlying message of the Slight Edge, to me at least, it's like that message. So that's definitely a good one. And then I haven't read it yet, but I heard it on the Skinny Confidential, which is another podcast that I really love. And it's called Relentless. I think it's either Tim Grover or Tom. I think it's Tim Grover who writes it. And that's on my list of books to read. It's like my next one, but it's all about mindset, and it's kind of that similar thing as the Slight Edge, like just being relentless in what you want to go after, and just keep going at it. That compound effect.
Yeah, I actually want to read that too after hearing that episode of the podcast. But yeah, it's funny what you say about like when you start to think too far about like future goals, and I think as visionaries, sometimes we can think about, okay, well, what about this next idea? And what about like 6 months, what am I going to create? What's my 10-year vision? But I don't know. Sometimes I think there's a lot more merit to just going hard on the day of, living in the present, and maybe knowing that you can't predict the future and that things could grow beyond what your 10-year plan or 1-month plan would ever look like. So is it okay not to set long-term goals and just focus on day to day? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is to that. But yeah, I think it's good to remind yourself to just, like, if you're loving what you're doing and you're feeling like you're in alignment and like, this is the life affirming program you've been waiting for, then just watch it unfold and don't get too caught up in what 6 months from now brings, because it will unfold, right, as it's supposed to. Pretty exciting. Anything else people want to throw in on that? Another good book or resource is just walking into the library and watching where you walk. Like exploring on that day. Do you go over to the cookbook section? Are you naturally going to walk up to the self-help, to the business section, and just giving yourself the task of leaving with one book and making that your event of the evening. And I've found it so interesting what books I will come home with, sometimes that have nothing to do with what I thought. Maybe I wanted to grab a business book and I walk home with a gardening book and I'm like, man, maybe I truly need like a new side project, right? Or like a new hobby. So now I'm reading a gardening book. And so that's kind of a fun game I've been playing with myself lately. But that could be me being a loser, really enjoying the library. Okay, because we're short on time here, I just want to open up the floor for any shout outs. So this could be something that you just want to plug if you've got a program or if you've got an event coming up. If there's something that you feel like you want to share in these final moments, I'm going to do this every month and you never have to feel like you're self-promoting or feel shameful about it. We just want to hear, like at the beginning, what's exciting? What should we know about before we all part ways? Think about it. Everyone come up with one. How about I make everyone answer the final question?
Good call.
Yeah, okay, good. Thank you. I'm like, nobody, you don't have to talk on this call. And then I just put everyone on the spot at the last second. So yeah, you could plug something like a shout out to a friend or a family member who's done something cool. Like, let's just leave on some positive, happy, exciting vibes.
Like, I can do a bit of a report back on, so the homework from last month was to be consistent. And what I decided to be consistent on was doing Instagram stories every day. And so I've been doing them and they've been all different things. I didn't give myself any rules other than I needed to have stories up there every day. And between, because I've been like, I got my NLP certification, but I've been doing additional workshops and stuff too. And between the requirement that I gave myself to produce some kind of content every day and all the NLP work, I've been getting so many creative ideas that I like came up with a new thing I want to offer. I'm like, wow, like just being consistent, and it totally aligns with everything else I'm doing. Like, you know, because I love tarot. I love tarot so much. It is such an amazing tool or medium that can help like everybody. It's so awesome. And so like I created a worksheet that I'm like giving away to people, and then like they get they'll get like a surprise reading of the card after. And then I've been thinking like I want to do a subscription thing, you know, that every moon cycle, because I work with the moon cycles because they're awesome. So every 2 weeks people will get like on the new moon and the full moon, they'll have the opportunity to choose which card they want for a reading. So like all the creative juices have been flowing and I'm really excited about it.
I love that. Testimonial to being consistent, which is incredible. And you're right, it just consistency compounds into the wheels continually spinning. So very cool. Who else got exciting news to share? Kaylee.
I'll plug the
I'm
gym.
actually just trying to find you guys on Instagram. Super cash.
Our Instagram. Did you say Kaylee or Kaylee?
Oh.
Did I jump in?
Oh, look at that.
I didn't know.
I actually did say Kaylee, but
Oh, that's my fault.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
Kaylee one, and then Kayleen second.
Okay.
Sorry.
Kaylee.
So if you want to see the gym I keep talking about and our life in Prince Edward County, the Instagram is at the gym in the armory.
Yeah.
And then you can see mine and Rob's Instagrams are attached to it. So
Woohoo! Amazing. Thank you
welcome
for
to Prince Edward County.
little plug there. Love
I
it.
tell Kelsey all the time that I want to move there.
Yeah, do it.
Visionary retreat to Prince Edward County.
Yeah.
Kayleen, what do you want to shout out? Spotlight.
I feel like I want this to be like not right now because I'm gonna be launching a website, guys. ASAP.
Exciting.
It's gonna be KayleenTurchat.com.
Yes.
That's my homework that's due tomorrow.
Put it out there.
You got
and,
this.
you speak it into existence. So I'm so happy you said that.
Yeah.
Amazing. Rebecca.
Yeah, so I just launched that, like I was saying, my pilot course, and I will be launching the second round of that in the middle of June, and then it will be like there'll be a couple of different tiers. There'll be an evergreen, and then there's a group coaching, and then a private. But basically, the tagline, which I'm still perfecting, is kind of like go from burnout to balance, something along those lines. But it's, obviously I'm a yoga teacher, and so every module, and I'm also a life coach, so I kind of combine coaching and yoga together in a holistic way to integrate like self-love and self-care into your lives, and then also like creating a toolbox, like everything that we learn in our yoga classes, the mindfulness, the breath work, all of those things through this course. And so at the end of the course, you have this toolbox that you can reach into and recognize, okay, what is it that I need today? And then we also go through intentional goal setting and some other cool things. So if you are curious about even just following me, my Instagram is rebecca.rose.wall, and Rebecca is spelled with a K. And then there should be a link to my website on my bio and stuff like that. But I put a lot of other stuff up there, so not just like always plugging my course. So I think it's a pretty good feed. Thanks.
Love it. Thanks, Rebecca. And Robin, I know you're muted, but do you want to unmute?
Yeah.
Shout it.
Yeah, so we talked about the retreat really quickly, but I did want to add one thing before I do my shout out, is you were talking about making these micro communities. And over the course of the past 4 months since January, I'm part of an autoimmune paleo Facebook group in Ottawa, and I decided to try to create mini community with them, hoping that they were going to be my audience for the retreat. So it was like with purpose, but literally none of them came. But every single month we get together, I organize a potluck where everybody brings an autoimmune paleo dish. We all share the recipes and we sit, and the one rule is that no one can complain about their disease. It has to be about problem solving if there are pain points. But I've created a really cool community that I love. I'm getting something out of, even though I did it for purpose, it didn't actually serve my purpose. So it surprises you when you do these things. But yes. So the retreat happened. I'm taking a portion of the proceeds. So anything that I do under the Autoimmune Thriving brand, I'm going to take 10% of the profits and put it into a scholarship fund that I give back to someone in need in the autoimmune community who can't afford holistic services. So I'm gifting one person in Ottawa a massage with my RMT, because that was 10% of this retreat. So I've done the call out. I'm actually going to post it in this AIP Facebook group to see if there's anybody in there in need. And we'll see if I actually get any submissions for the scholarship.
So cool. Gosh, you guys are all so inspiring. And I just think getting conversations going can ignite ideas in all of us, especially if you are around consistent people every day. Sometimes you can kind of just get in four walls, and it's nights like this that make me realize, like, whoa, like I can kick up the momentum, and I've got a list of things that now I want to act on. And oh, somebody's cell phone is loud. But yeah, like I hope that the wheels were turning for you. And oh, we got the chat box going. Oh, we're sharing IGs. Yeah, post your IGs in the chat box.
Yeah, I got everybody else intuitively.
Wow, you creeper, you.
I'm a really good creeper. If you ever need to stalk somebody, I am your girl.
So mark the next one down if you're able to attend Tuesday, June 4th. Again, we'll keep this to the first Tuesday of every month. Invite your friends or don't invite them and keep this cozy. But out of respect for everyone's time, we're going to wrap it up. I was going to keep it to 45 minutes, but gosh, lots of good info shared. So that's it. That's all. Let's all connect via Instagram, Facebook, all those other fun ways. But that's all. Any last words? No? Okay. Save them for next month. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, Kelsey.
Thanks for joining. Bye.